Another fantastic day by the early edge team. Larry going 1 for 1. However, just barely missing that Jordan Brooks prop by the hook there with he having 8 total. Speaking of 8 total, Mike McClure 1-0. 7.5 is different than 8. I'm just now realizing what a sweat free cash. Another good day for the early edge team. But speaking of the early edge team, let's bring them in for Big Pig Energy.
Woo! What the heck was that? No, that wasn't good.
Kaboom! Buckets, if you could shut the hell up for one moment, I'm going to continue here. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. We've got Amags with a bunch of hats on. We got Danny Brasco with the DK12. We've got Sia, and we've got the most important thing of all. Speaking of the most important thing of all, Chip. You know what we need.
Good morning, Buckets. Good morning, Sia. Good morning, Amags. Good morning, Danny Brasco. E equals MC squared and CP equals WIN. Let's go. Happy Halloween to everybody. Bring that kaboom. That's what we're doing. Chip Einstein in the house checking in. WIN.
All right, I'm done. Sia, please
Okay,
take over.
Buckets, how did it go? What just happened there?
Speaking of what just happened there, I was doing my best Sia Nejad impression, and I feel like I did pretty good, to be fair.
The biggest tip-off, of course, was you saying "speaking of" like 19 times, which I tend to do. Amags, I don't really know how to respond, so I'm going to transition to you. I have no idea what you are. Talk to me.
You don't know who I am, Sia? You know what? This may help if I tape this to my chest right here, because I am Jeff Stenberg.
Yeah.
Every team that the Yankees play, he just throws the hat on. And if I had that taped to my chest, it would be a little bit better because he's always giving me hate. But I could think of no better person than to dress up as this Halloween than our buddy Jeff.
Brasco, you want to tell us what you are, and you want to give a rating on what Buckets just did, 1 to 10?
First of all, that was a phenomenal intro, parodical or not. I absolutely loved it. Buckets is poised to take your job, Sia, so be careful because that was smooth as could be. And second, I was going to be an Italian gangster. I was going to come as Don Brasco, but I'm not going to lie to you. I tried on this old pinstripe suit, and it did not fit, not even close. So instead, I went with my spirit animal, and that's Donkey Kong.
Pretty amazing. Buckets, would you like to host the rest of the show?
Absolutely not. I hated that. I am meant to be a sidekick or a co-host. I'm not quite ready to do what you do, Sia. I have a lot more respect for you now than I've ever had before.
Which is still not saying very much based on your level of respect for me. I was going to have you go first, Buckets, like you always do, but that's not happening. Go ahead. Do you have a live play already?
No. Oh, no, but I'll start looking for one. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah. You're not going first after that display to start the show. So I got to transition. Amags, you're wearing all the hats. I don't know if one of them is a Dodgers or a Blue Jays hat, but either way, we've got a game tonight, right? And it could close out tonight. What are your plays?
See, we actually have both of the hats here, both of the teams playing. So not showing much bias. And that's because we have a pick on each of these teams. Let me put this down a little bit here. I look like Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. If you don't know who that is, we cannot be friends. So we got 2 picks here tonight, and I don't think that Buckets knows who that is. 2 picks here tonight in the what may be the final game of the World Series. And as I said, it's on both teams. The first one here, look, I think there's a little bit of value on the guy that has now become the Dodgers' number 2 hitter in Will Smith, catcher Will Smith. Nobody is going to benefit from an off day more than him. And I'm sorry, I'm looking at myself. I look ridiculous in this picture right here as I try to give this take, but no one is going to benefit from an off day more than him. 3 back-to-back games, obviously caught 18 innings. It's just a really tough spot to be in, but they need his bat and certainly his glove and everything behind the plate that he brings. So kind of have to keep playing him. But now you've moved him up in the order because Mookie Betts is struggling. You've got him hitting right behind Shohei Ohtani. I love the spot, and I don't think the number has changed enough based upon that lineup positioning. So I'm going to take Will Smith here on the away team. Back in Toronto, you're going to get the full complement of at-bats, over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at a very palatable price, in my opinion. I love this one. And then secondly, we've got to go right back to the prop that paid us out on plus money a couple of nights ago. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to walk one time in this game. He could walk more than one time if you want to go to DraftKings, play a little bit on the 2. I actually don't mind that either, but kind of trying to key in again on an intentional walk. Now, last game, we actually cashed this one on a normal walk. He just worked a 4-pitch walk, and that was perfect for us. We cashed in that way, but I do think in this game with the Dodgers kind of having everything on the line, they do not want to face him with runners in scoring position or in a big spot. So I do think that intentional walk is going to come more into play here tonight. Hey, at plus 115 on Fanatics, I'm just going to go right back and play it and not overthink it. So appreciate everybody kind of rallying through the whole season. Hopefully, at least for my Dodgers futures, this isn't the last game of the season. But if it is, it's been a good one. I appreciate you guys.
Amags, you're absolutely the best. I know everybody appreciates you as well. Send some love to Amags in the chat. Buckets, I kind of want to avoid you here again, but I think it's probably an appropriate time. And by the way, I know you said speaking of all the time. I also say by the way all the time. By the way, if you have questions for Amags for this World Series game, put them in the chat. Same goes for Chip, Danny, and Buckets, I suppose. Buckets, go ahead and give your pick so we can just get it over with.
Speaking of questions for Amags, I actually have a question for Amags, if that's all right with you, Amags. Do you think this goes to Game 7?
Honestly, just who wins? Yeah, I do think the Dodgers win tonight. Yamamoto has been great. I do think it pushes to Game 7, but you cannot underestimate that home field advantage. I mean, Toronto has looked great, getting them back in their own building. That could play a bigger role here, and they get to see Yamamoto for the second time here. So I think at the end of the day, I would side with the guy that's been amazing and thrown back-to-back complete games, but sheesh, I don't love it.
All right. Thank you for that, Amags. By the way, I'm going to get into my picks now. I've got 2 plays for everyone here today, and we're starting with the championship matchup between Wrexham and Coventry. And I bet Wrexham both teams to score in their EFL Cup play on the show earlier this week, and it cashed. And I saw someone in the comments say, it's boring betting the same time every single week. I could not care less if we bet the exact same thing every single week as long as it keeps cashing. Maybe I'm the weird one here, but Wrexham versus Coventry, both teams to score at minus 120 is something we just have to take. Wrexham have the highest BTTS hit rate in the entirety of the championship when playing at home, at the racecourse. This is a team that is always good for a goal, but Wrexham's struggling to find their footing in the championship. They're not quite ready for this caliber of play. A lot of big moves still happening both on and on the pitch. They're just not good enough to stop Coventry from scoring. So I love both teams to score in this first fixture. Then we go to the Bundesliga, where we have Augsburg taking on Borussia Dortmund, and we're going with the same game parlay of both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at minus 110. Dortmund are the much better team. They probably score 3 here, but Dortmund on the road tend to struggle. Augsburg has looked really good offensively, and we can't forget that early next week, Dortmund have to play Manchester City in the Champions League, which means Dortmund's going to rotate. They're going to play some of their backups here. They're not going to play this game aggressively and for that 2-0, 3-0, 4-0 shootout like we usually see for them against weaker teams. I love goals in this fixture, but Augsburg at home against a rotated Dortmund side are more than good enough to get a goal here, Sia.
Chip, any response to any of these soccer plays? I know you always have something to add or question.
No, I don't. It's not in my wheelhouse. There were no Serie A plays there, and that's really where I'm gonna have my strength. Do you have something, Aline?
I've got a question for you about Fiorentina tomorrow, if you're open to talking about that poor team. They haven't won yet this season, as I'm sure you know. They are minus 180 against Lecce tomorrow to win. Is this the manager bounce to get their first win, or is this still a stay away team for the time being?
Oh, you mean the same Lecce squad that had heat for Napoli last time out? Am I playing with confidence? Like
that's
no.
plus 500. Lecce's plus 500 tomorrow.
Yeah,
Buckets. You're not hosting anymore. You can't ask questions.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Chip. Go ahead, Chip. Go ahead and answer the question.
It's like I'm not going to bet on the disappointing team minus 180 to finally do what everyone's been asking them to do all season long and play to their potential. So I will watch it, obviously, but yeah, it ain't great.
Fair. Back to you, Sia.
Are you done, Buckets? Do you have anything
I'm
more?
done. Sorry. No.
Okay, that's great. We have people in the chat. Hit the like button if you could. Evolve Mindset. I want to give a shout out to him, Chris Kish, and Eric David, who may or may not be in the chat. They have helped me. Really, I mean, I've done very little. They've helped me create a candy bracket, which I'm going to be tweeting out at 11 o'clock today. It is a March Madness style 64, 4 regions. We're going to do a lot. I'm going to do a live show next week, probably not on this channel. It might not be appropriate for this channel, but I will be doing a live show with some special guests. But either way, that candy bracket that everybody's asking about right now, I will be tweeting it out within the hour. Let's get to some more picks. Chip, I'm going to go to you. Let's get some college football. I know we've got some Friday night lights and we got some Saturday plays like you always come with. What's it going to be?
All right, so we're going to start on Friday night up in the Carrier Dome. Chandler Jones, he was a New England Patriot under Bill Belichick. He played for Syracuse. Oh, Syracuse, big lacrosse school. Bill Belichick likes lacrosse. Guys, I think that Bill Belichick's going to get his first ACC win as North Carolina's head coach, playing up slight dog against the Orange, but that's not my best bet. My best bet is going to be how they get it done, and that's what the defense that we have seen has continually been improving. Now, they put the clamps on Virginia. Very impressed with the way that group was firing off the ball, limiting what Chandler Morris could do. And Ricky Collins, Syracuse's quarterback, 0-4 as a starter. This offense has really gone downhill since they lost Steve Angeli in the Clemson game. So on Friday night, we are thinking that North Carolina gets it done outright. Don't hate a money line play there. But the best bet, Syracuse team total under 23.5. He's Bill Belichick's giving it up for Jim Brown. He's giving up for lacrosse. You know he knows those roads in Syracuse. Okay, then we go on to Saturday. 2 plays, both in the primetime slate. The first one is going to be in Neyland Stadium, Knoxville, Tennessee. Little dark mode action for the Vols. And they've got an Oklahoma team coming in what really is a survival game in terms of the college football playoff, because the loser here is probably not making it. The winner stays in the hunt. I'm going to take Tennessee, and I'm going to lay those 3 points. Now, a couple things here. Number one, we have seen Oklahoma's offense kind of regress a little bit. The defense is still spectacular, but this is a Tennessee defense that I think is going to be able to cause some sacks and cause some turnovers with John Mateer. Because, as I've told you guys often, when we've got strength on strength, which no doubt we have, this is the SEC's number 1 scoring offense, number 1 total offense, number 1 passing offense in Tennessee, going up against the SEC's number 1 scoring defense, number 1 total defense, number 1 passing defense in Oklahoma. When it's strength on strength, I go to weakness on weakness to try to figure out who's got the edge. That, to me, is the X factor. Oklahoma's offensive line against Tennessee's aggressive defensive front, I think, forces some turnovers, gives them some short fields to get quick and easy scores. Then 2 vibes-related items here. Number 1, Josh Heupel helped win a national championship, was an All-American quarterback at Oklahoma, but he was also an offensive coordinator, and he was also fired. And he also doesn't love Oklahoma right now. Remember how emotional he got when they beat Oklahoma in Norman last year? He would love to stick it to the Sooners at home, especially in a game with this big stakes. And number 2, again, Coach Beef is running through the country this weekend. Seth Littrell, okay? Seth Littrell. He was the offensive coordinator for Oklahoma last year. Brent Venables fired him, laid a lot of Oklahoma's offensive struggles at Seth Littrell's feet. Where is Seth Littrell right now? Oh, he's an offensive analyst for Tennessee. So do you think that Seth Littrell, who had to go up against Oklahoma's defense in practice every single day, might have a few splash plays, get my little Einstein on, get it drawn up for the offense? I think so. We take Tennessee. We lay the points. Then Wake Forest has been one of the great stories. While there's a lot of coaches that are getting fired and not living up to expectations, Jake Dickert showed up in Winston-Salem, and he's got a Wake Forest team that is 5-2. Now, they don't have an extremely high ceiling, especially offensively, but they are so solid, especially defending the run, that I think they're going to cause some problems for Florida State. I don't know if you looked at the get-in prices on the secondary ticket market. This ain't exactly a hot ticket in Tallahassee. I'm not expecting the best environment. We remember Mike Norvell needed the dreaded vote of confidence after they continued to lose ACC games. So I'm going to say that Wake goes in and makes things a little sweaty in Tallahassee for the Seminoles. So we'll finish it off. Again, Tennessee and Wake, 7:30 p.m. slate on Saturday night. Then tonight, North Carolina, Syracuse, Friday Night Lights.
We got bets for tonight. We got bets for tomorrow night. I'm in on these. I love the analysis, Chip, but I mean, I've watched some of these teams play. The Wake plus 10 seems like too many points to me against Florida State. Just not a good squad right now. BetMGM has a ton of football boosts this weekend. We got college football and we got pro football boosts here, courtesy of BetMGM. Make it legendary. Account holders will receive a college football odds boost by simply adding a college football wager to their bet slip and activating the boost. Score extra winnings if your bet hits. Also, BetMGM players will receive a pro football odds boost, pro football parlay boost, and pro football SGP boost. If your bet wins that was made with the boost token, you'll receive extra winnings in unrestricted bonus dollars. We've got a lot of SportsLine picks here. Let's check them out. From Thursday, we've got Tucker Kraft under 60.5 receiving yards, minus 115, courtesy of Prop Stars. Prop Bet Guy says Quentin Grimes tonight under 15.5 points, minus 122 in the NBA. Colts minus 3, courtesy of RJ White. That one is minus 115. And the Las Vegas Golden Knights minus 1.5. Yeah, puck line plus 200. Says Bruce Marshall. All right, Danny Brasco, we got to get to you next. We have a surprise producer pick, and I've got an NFL prop play that I'm going to have on CBS Sports Network today at 1 o'clock. It's going to be me, Larry, and Prop Stars on that show. But we got to get to Brasco first. We're going to hit that right after this message from our partners.
Only CBS Sports can bring you big time during the heart of Saturday afternoons. It's big time.
It's big time. It's big time. It's big time.
On CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
We're back on the early edge. Danny Brasco, we've kept you quiet for way too long. You've got some fighting picks. And of course, speaking of fights, the biggest fight on Sunday is the Chiefs and the Bills. I mean, I'm very much looking forward to that game. No rooting interest, to be honest with you. I know you've got a Josh Allen prop as well. So kick us off with some UFC and then go from there.
Okay, so we'll start with the octagon. We'll head to the gridiron. See, mixing it up, football and fighting. This is the best season, right? And first of all, I'm going to start with, I gave you guys a pick on Wednesday with Timmy Kwamba. Don't forget about that. You'll see that on the recap screen. But next up, I'm going with Norma Dumont by decision. This is a bet I like on the prelims here. And Dumont is the minus 170 favorite on the money line, but the over 2.5 rounds is minus 475. So I think we might as well just go get some value and take her to win on the judges' scorecards. The reason I like her is because she's clearly the more technical and tactical striker in this matchup. She's got a nice Muay Thai style approach, nice front kick up the middle that helps her keep distance, and a sound jab that I think will really lead the dance in this fight. Her opponent is Ketlin Vieira, a fighter that lands more than one less significant strike per minute than Dumont. Also absorbs more than one significant strike per minute. I'm not always a big UFC stats and math guy, but when the over 2.5 rounds is minus 475, I want to start adding things up and see how the judges might score it. Speaking of UFC stats, Vieira, grapple heavy fighter, 42% takedown rate versus Dumont's 72% takedown defense. So when you add those things up, I'm seeing Dumont outstrike Vieira. And after last week where the grappler Jailton Almeida fought Alexander Volkov, who we won on as a plus 190 dog, we saw Almeida land repeated takedowns. I can barely see through this thing. Repeated takedowns. He had so much control time, and the judges didn't score it because they're tired of grapplers doing nothing with the control, just sitting there in position and keeping, head control or positional control without posturing up and landing punches, without attempting submissions. It doesn't count for anything. And Vieira in a lot of her fights has been very inactive. She just kind of grinds away. Don't be surprised if you see the referee step in there and break them up a couple times because it's getting boring. You hear the boo birds come out, and I think her style is not going to help her coming off that last week's kind of precedent that they set. So give me Norma Dumont to get a win here. Again, here we are in the women's bantamweight division. We cashed on Melissa Croden as a dog last time, and like I keep saying, I for some reason think I've got a read on this spooky, kind of haunted, weird, ghostly division of the UFC. So give me Dumont by decision. Next up on the prelims, give me Billy Elikana inside the distance. I think he wins this fight by finish at minus 110. Billy Elikana minus 265. What? The guy's got 2 UFC fights. I think the line is a little bit telling here because he's fighting a guy in Kevin Christian. That's a massive human being, huge frame, 6'7" tall, but I'm not sure he's UFC caliber talent. He got a nice win on Dana White's Contender Series, a triangle armbar, so a very flashy submission. People might think he's got, a lot of skill, which he does, but he's never won a fight by decision, so he needs the finish, and his level of competition is quite low. The guy he beat was a 4-0 Italian guy named Francesco Mazzeo. I love my Italians. Chip, buckets, you guys know. Serie A, I spent my time in Italy. All respect, miei amici, ragazzi italiani, but the regional scene in MMA over there is not good. And beating Francesco Mazzeo, 4-0 guy, not telling me much. So Christian is a guy that likes to play off his back as a 6'7" man who could probably strike from the outside, deliver damage. No, he wants to lay down in his guard and get you tricked up with his limbs. Elikana, I think, has all the upside in this fight, and I think he can show his talent here, where last fight he kind of got into an uneventful tiki-taka kind of point-fighting kickboxing match, and this time around he can show his danger. He can show those rear naked chokes. I think he gets the finish and shows that Kevin Christian just not really on this UFC level. And finally, guys, let's go to the gridiron. Sia already alluded to it. Game of the week, Bills, Chiefs. I mean, how are you not going to be dialed into this one? Josh Allen and the Bills have been very successful against the Chiefs in the regular season. In 5 meetings, he's 4-1 against him. I'm not picking a side, though. I like Josh Allen over 41.5 rushing yards. Shout out to Jeff Hockman. If you're on SportsLine, read his write-up. He got this in on Wednesday, beat the line a good deal, but I think Allen's likely to get near 50 rushing yards in this one. In his 5 games in the regular season against the Chiefs, he's averaging 10.6 carries per game and 44 rushing yards. So just on average, he's over this. But really, when I bet on a QB's rushing prop, I want not only to bet on a QB that has that mobility, but I'm betting against the defensive coordinator that sends the blitz. Think about Brian Flores, think about Todd Bowles, and think about Kansas City DC Steve Spagnuolo, a guy that's forcing that scramble rate. So I'm seeing a very competitive game here. I think it's going to be classic game of the week, and I think Allen's going to have to take the onus on himself for, yes, a Bills offense that bounced back in a major way against the Panthers, but has had a little bit of kind of what's going on with them about him, right? So I think Allen looks to take it on his own and definitely goes over this rushing yards number on Sunday for the game of the week.
All right, we got Josh Allen over rushing yards and buckets. What's so funny?
How do people not know who Donkey Kong is? These
People
comments
are
in the
saying that?
this comment in the chat's being like, it's weird hearing Curious George give out MMA.
Curious George, that's the level of disrespect, brother.
Sorry.
Curious George is kind of an old school reference. I guess. I mean, Donkey Kong. Yeah, I guess everybody should know
It's
who
the
Donkey Kong
tie.
is.
It's attention to detail, y'all. Okay.
Yeah,
Curious George does not wear the tie. The tie is Donkey Kong.
that's right.
I mean, honestly, like I really think you guys need to open your minds. You know, maybe go through some sensitivity training. Sounds like you're saying that they all look alike. You know,
Yeah.
you're trying to say that Curious George, Donkey Kong. Come on, pay attention to details, y'all.
Hey, yo, if you play me in Mario Party, you'll know real quick this ain't Curious George. When you get knocked off the map by DK, baby, let's go.
For those of you complaining that I didn't dress up, by the way, I am literally dressed up. I'm in a long sleeve. I'm never in a long sleeve shirt, buttoned up to the top, of course. I am dressed up. Jeff Stenberg says, buckets, would you take Coventry team total over 1.5 at even money?
Oh, absolutely. Again, that's the same match as the Wrexham match. My score prediction there was 2-1, 3-1 Coventry. I think take the over, take both teams to score, take Coventry team total. We should see goals there.
Lucas Papalizio says, Arsenal are bound to have a goal explosion soon. Over 2.5 goals against Burnley is plus 135.
Oh,
That's a no.
No, it's not a no. He's right. It's gonna happen eventually. But if you look at their last 10 matches, the overs hit in 2 of the last 10. This is a team that loves playing for their set piece 2-0s. I would say I'd like the over there more if they didn't have a Champions League match on Tuesday. We could see the same thing that Dortmund does, especially playing a Burnley side that they should have no problem beating. They might not play their best guys, so just be careful there, Lucas.
We do have some more NFL to get to, but I do want to get to some of these questions. Irish John says, does Chip like the over-under in the Oklahoma game?
Ooh, no, I think it's a good number. And the outcomes, there's a lot of different ways it goes. There's 25-19 or 25-15 last year. So that was obviously a game that was played more at Oklahoma's style of scoring without, necessarily, getting success as Tennessee won in Norman. But I do think that we've got a situation where Tennessee's defense is boom or bust enough that you could tell me Oklahoma scores 17 in this game. You could tell me Oklahoma scores 28 in this game because they're giving up explosive plays. Again, Tennessee, among the nation's leaders in sacks and defensive touchdowns, they also give up a bunch of explosive plays. So that's why I'm staying away from the total here, because I think Tennessee has the edge in lots of different game scripts.
Buckets, it's very distracting to see you laughing the whole time. Can you tell the class what's so funny?
I'm just involved. I was told to spend more time in the chat. I'm trying to do.
Who told you that? Nobody told you that. You're just making that up. Nobody told you that.
And he told me that.
Okay, fine. Amags, there were some nerfy and yerfy questions for tonight, and there were also questions about pitcher props, things of that nature. Anything that crossed your eyes while you were doing your research that was at least worth mentioning?
I've been answering as many as I can here in the chat, so keep asking them, trying to get to everybody. I did post one on SportsLine here. Just Yoshinobu Yamamoto has an outs line at 19.5 on DraftKings here.
Wow.
I mean, I know he's gone back-to-back complete games, 9 innings. So, if he goes 6 2/3 or finishes 7 innings or goes deeper than that, hey, I will tip my 6 caps here to him. But, look, in game 6, do or die here. I mean, if he gets into enough trouble, they're going to bring in like a Roki Sasaki to put the fire out. And we may actually even see Shohei Ohtani out of the bullpen here tonight. This would be like that 20, 25, 30 pitch bullpen session that he would throw anyways between starts. So in a big spot, they need to shut something down. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him warming up out there. So that's my thought on those. And yeah, like I said, ask as many as you can here in the chat.
Speaking of shutting things down, I got to give a shout out to the chat. We have a lot of people watching on YouTube, even more watching over on Twitter and other social media outlets. Whoever Travis was got shut down by the entire chat. I saw some of his comments. Somebody's trolling when their accusation against how bad you are with picks is they lose their parlays all the time. We don't make any parlays on the show. To the extent we do, it's like 1 out of every 100 picks. I can't remember the last parlay we actually made. We don't make them on SportsLine. So we have people that drop in. They just are angry. They want to do whatever they want to do. And then we've got you all to regulate it. So very much appreciate that. Obviously, that guy had no idea what show he was on when he made those accusations. Let's go to, before we do the producer pick, we know Ben is super sharp. Let me give out my pick. I'm going to keep it really short because I'm going to talk about this a lot more on CBS Sports Network today at 1 o'clock for the NFL Prop Show. I'm going Tyrone Tracy over 52.5 rushing yards. This actually opened at BetMGM at 50.5, and I kind of wish I got it there, obviously. Now it's universally 52.5, shaded to the under at this point a little bit. So you're getting minus 112 with the pick I put on SportsLine, but there are some maybe minus 110, minus 108s out there on this over 52.5. I think this is a volume play. I think Tyrone Tracy is actually a pretty good running back, and I thought, maybe he was going to be the starter instead of Cam Skattebo. Of course, Skattebo proved himself. He's now injured. But the volume that he was getting over the last 4 games, we're talking 20-plus carries, 15 carries, 13 carries, 17 carries. Like, he's getting a lot of rushing attempts. And I think Tyrone Tracy is going to do the same thing against the San Francisco defense that is really banged up. Injury after injury after injury. I think we could have a very competitive game. The point spread indicates that. That's going to keep the running game in play. And Tyrone Tracy, really, he's projected to get 13 to 14 rush attempts. That means he only needs to average about 4 yards per carry to easily eclipse this 52.5. So I think Tyrone Tracy, again, is a very capable running back. I don't think he's getting the respect in the market that he probably deserves. And while I do think Robert Saleh can contain him, I also think he can get some big chunk gains. And I think he's going to get 13, 14, 15 carries. That'll do it. That'll get you the over here. Give me the over 52.5 rushing yards. Let's go back to college football. Go ahead, Brasco.
I just wanted to mention something about that play, which I like. I think that game might be more high scoring than people expect because of all the injuries. And the Niners, who played the Texans last week, were on the field. Their defense was on the field more than any other team. I believe 75 plays. So not only are they banged up, they may be exhausted. So I like your play on a running back against them.
Go ahead, Amags.
Really quick, I want to let Buckets know he can now cash the over 6.5 hats. We have added a 7th hat here.
Let's go.
Cash those bets.
That's another live bet cash for Buckets. Buckets, it's 5 in a row.
I've been sitting here sweating, just waiting for that 7th hat to go on. I didn't know if I was going to get it, but let's go.
That's Doug Dimmadome. Come on. You tell me you guys know Doug Dimmadome.
Owner
That's
of the Dimsdale
amazing.
Dimmadome, baby.
Yeah,
I actually
there
have
you
no
go.
idea who that is. All right, let's get to Ben. Ben has a Diego Pavia fade. That's how I see it, at least. Ben, jump in here. Talk to me about your Vanderbilt team total under. Wow.
Yes.
What's up? Is that Seabiscuit?
Seabiscuit, BoJack Horseman, kind of whoever people want. It's great. It's a versatile costume.
All right, what's the pick?
So we are going to be going to Vanderbilt, Texas, top 10 Vanderbilt, and we are going to be fading them. And a lot of people would say, hey, Diego Pavia on Vandy, you might want to back them, but they are playing a very good Texas team. This is a Texas team that has a top 10 rush defense. They have a top 30 defense in general. And now Vanderbilt has to go on the road and play Texas on the road in a very tough environment after 2 very tough games. This is a Texas defense that just does not horse around. They know what to do when they play a good team. And I think Diego Pavia and company are going to struggle against this Texas defense. I think we saw them struggle against Mizzou's defense when they couldn't get the run game going. And I think they're going to struggle even more against a Texas run defense that is going to, I think, going to stop them from getting consistent yardage when they have the ball. On the road, tough environment. I don't think Vandy scores all too often. They've struggled against SEC teams with good defenses. They struggled against Alabama. And Texas defense has held some SEC opponents under 15 points multiple times. So I'm going to go under in the team total for Vanderbilt.
All right. Diego Pavia, team total under
Danny, are we laughing about the same
21.5. Go ahead.
I'm cracking up at a comment. Scott Edwards, I guess, didn't love the pick, but
Yeah.
this is just funny regardless of the result. He says that Vandy pick should be turned into glue.
Yeah. That's right. All right. That's disrespectful. We didn't come this far with the doors to give up now. Come on.
Chip, speaking of disrespectful, there was somebody in the chat that said you look like a substitute teacher going through a divorce.
Oh, yeah. That would be. I tried to make the hair like Einstein crazy, and now it's just fallen into like disheveled. I didn't shower this morning.
Let's talk about go ahead, Buckets.
Sia, have you watched BoJack Horseman?
I don't know what it is.
Has anybody here watched BoJack Horseman?
Yeah.
Okay. Ben, can you give yourself a one shot real quick? Sia, you can ignore this, but this is important. Can you give yourself one shot? One day you're going to look around and you're going to realize that everyone loves you, but nobody likes you. And that's the loneliest feeling in the world. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I just had to get that. So good.
What? He's drunk with power. Can you give me a one shot, Ben, for
That's
you?
amazing.
Like what? I've never even asked for that.
Like
It
BoJack
narrates?
Horseman, drunk with power, or just drunk.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Drunk with confidence. Josh Davis says Mississippi State plus 4.5 minus 110. Chip, what are your thoughts? They play Arkansas, correct?
Yeah, I think I would go either money line or not. Like I just was talking about this game with somebody else yesterday where you can put together a whole take about why you're taking Arkansas. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds right. And you can put together a whole take about why you're taking Mississippi State. I'm like, yeah, that sounds right. I mean, we're talking about 4.5 here. We're talking about two offenses that are going to try to score. We're talking about defenses that might not put up much resistance. If you like Mississippi State, I would say just take them on the money line.
Buckets, what do you think about Real Madrid? Team total over 3 versus Valencia.
We're running into the same argument every time. These teams that have Champions League matches in the midweek next week, I'm staying off of. If they didn't have UCL play, I'd like it, but with the UCL play, I'm staying off of it.
K Burnout says, Buckets, what about bets? I don't know what this means. Bets and over 2.5 in the Wrexham game.
I'm going to guess they meant BTTS and over 2.5 in the Wrexham game. I'm fine with that. I think it's a good look.
Farzad says first quarter Tennessee for old times, Chip.
Ooh. Let's see. What are we looking at here? Yes. I mean, I'm not gonna hate the idea that they're coming out with a little bit of a scripted something, but let's go. He's playing at home, dark mode, vibes. Let's go. Great day at Calhoun's. Have y'all ever been to Knoxville for a Tennessee football game?
Mm-mm.
Yes.
Yeah. Incredible energy.
Of all
It
people.
is just, it's palpable.
I went to the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, Neyland Stadium. I was there during the Butch Jones era, remember?
That's right.
Nope. Nobody remembers. Amags, anything you've got from a baseball standpoint?
But of course, I remember the Butch Jones era. I don't have anything else. James Rainwater has been asking a ton of questions. I appreciate him in the chat. He just asked if we get to a game 7, which way would I be leaning? Because it would be on Saturday. I do think if they get to a game 7, like that momentum has swung back the Dodgers' way, and now you got to face a juggernaut there in game 7. So I wouldn't let them get any confidence back. You got to finish them off here tonight if you're the Jays.
Joe Neuenfeld says, no, you didn't go to Tennessee. You went to JMU because you're Sia today. Good call there. Brasco, it looked like you had something to add before we get to the recap as well.
Yeah, I see my guy Gippers talking about some UFC fight night picks. He liked a 2-piece parlay of Alan Nascimento and Isaac Dolgarian, 2 favorites to put together, get minus 120. I like that. And he also was talking about an underdog I almost brought to the show, Daniel Frunza, plus 142. That fight is going to be a banger. He's taking on Charles Radke. They're both brawlers. I like the under 2.5. I like the dog, and I like the dog by knockout. So look for violence in that one. Don't miss Radke versus Frunza.
Gipper's picks. Always want to follow his UFC stuff. Super solid. Chip, anything to close out before Buckets does the recap screen?
Yeah, I saw Farzad talking about a Jim Knowles revenge game. That would be Ohio State, Penn State. I think you got to consider the Ryan Day revenge because Jim Knowles left Ohio State willingly to go take a new contract at Penn State to work for James Franklin, who, doesn't work there anymore. Uh-oh. So Ryan Day, who's got the best team in the country, maybe has a little bit of the edge of like, this is what you left. He hired Matt Patricia. Ohio State's got one of the best defenses in the country. So I wonder if it's revenge the other way. If you get 20.5, I like Ohio State there.
Chris Kish says, my kids had Fun Dip for the first time yesterday. To be young. Fun Dip is amazing. That is in the candy
still
bracket.
awake.
Yeah, they're still awake. Go ahead, Amags.
Real quick, I did just see one comment here. I wanted to at least bring it up. Mr. Big said, if you like the Dodgers to win tonight, just bet them at plus 195 to win the series. I do agree with that. If you like them to win tonight, don't, if you want to bet the minus 150 or worse, fine. But I don't want to bet into that number, that line right now. I would much rather be on the near plus 200 than you just sit there tomorrow with your ticket at plus 200 when the Dodgers are likely going to be a favorite again.
I completely agree with that. Really good call out by Mr. Big. All right, Buckets, are you ready for the recap screen?
Let's do it.
All
right. From Sia, we have Tryon Tracy over 52.5 rush yards. We've got from Tuesday, Packers minus 12.5 and Michael Pittman over 52.5 rec yards at minus 115. From Amags, Will Smith. Ooh, I didn't know he played baseball. Over 1.5 hit runs and RBIs. We've got Vlad Jr. 1+ walk. He doesn't hate laddering that as well, if you want to look into that. Buckets has Reaxum versus Coventry, both teams to score, and out a German one, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals.
Yeah, I'm not that bad.
Chip Syracuse team total under 23.5. Tennessee -3 and Wake Forest +10. And then Danny Brasco, DK over here. Josh Allen over 41.5 rushing yards. Norma Dumont by decision. Billy Alicana by KO or sub. And from Wednesday, Timmy Kuamba money line. And then there's more picks for some reason on the SportsLine side, of course. From Thursday, Tucker Kraft under 60.5 receiving yards. That is from Prop Stars. Quentin Grimes under 15.5 points from Prop Bet Guy. Colts -3 from our guy RJ White. And Las Vegas Golden Knights -1.5. Bruce Marshall. I don't know what sport that is. Thanks, Sia. Hockey. And one more, Vanderbilt TT under 21.5 from producer Ben.
That would be Vanderbilt team total. Can't wait for that Sickaroos game tonight. All right. That was a great show. I hope everybody has a very happy Halloween. Thanks everybody here for dressing up, including me. Of course, I am also dressed up. Buckets, you did a not terrible job hosting for the minute that you stepped in. So good job there. Chip Einstein, I think you look like Chip Einstein in spite of others thinking you look like a teacher going through a divorce. Brasco looking good, sounding good as usual. Amags, hope that Dodgers ticket cashes. And of course, Ben, don't forget about his Vanderbilt TT play that he put out. Super sharp, Ben, behind the lens, but also in front of the lens. 1 o'clock, CBS Sports Network. We're going to have our NFL prop show. It'll be me, Prop Stars, and Larry Hartstein stepping in for Claudia and Dave Richard today. It's going to be a great Friday. Have a happy and safe Halloween. Send us your pictures. Send us some fun ones. Tag SportsLine. We appreciate you being part of this experience. Richard Pierre, CLE fan, Mr. Big Jen, Scott Davis with his hockey picks, Evolved Mindset, Jeff Stenberg, Chris Kish, of course, and so many of you being here every single day. We'll see you on Monday to do it again. Monday through Friday on the SportsLine YouTube channel every day at 10 o'clock. Buckets, close us out.
You know the law, baby. Subscribe.
Yes.